Hello everyone, my name is Alyssa, and today my partner TJ and I are going to be discussing how hydraulic fracturing or fracking is impacting the environment. So, what is hydraulic fracking? This is a process that extracts natural gas from rock beneath Earth's surface. Rocks like shale, sandstone, and limestone contain natural gas that form as dead organisms within the rock decompose. This gas is able to be released and captured at the surface to be used for energy when the rocks they are trapped in are drilled into. Over the years, approximately 1 million wells in America have been fracked since the 1940s, and these wells are majorly vertical and tap into porous sandstone or limestone. How does this process work? A borehole is drilled about 6,000 feet underground and the shaft is lined with steel and cement casing. Monitors are used to signal when the drilling must shift horizontally in order to penetrate long-running sections of shale bedrock. Millions of gallons of water are then blasted into the bedrock, and chemicals are added to this water in order to dissolve minerals, destroy bacteria that might block the well, and add sand to hold open the fractures. The pressure creates cracks that release the trapped natural gas from the shale. The gas and water then flow back up to the surface, and the gas is separated from the water. Most of this water stays in the wellbore, but up to 20% is either reduced or injected into disposal wells that are thousands of feet underground. These rocks are essentially broken apart or fractured in order to increase the flow of the released gas. In the past, drillers have detonated small explosions in the wells in order to increase the flow. And about 70 years ago, oil and gas drilling companies started fracking rock by pumping the pressurized water into it. How is this process affecting the environment? The mixture of chemicals used, like acids, detergents, and toxins, are not controlled by federal laws and can cause major problems if they leak into drinking water. There's the chance that the methane gas that escapes into the environment out of the gas wells could cause a hazardous explosion. Small earthquakes have been triggered once companies began using brine for deep wells. The methane gas that is retrieved during the extraction process and the carbon dioxide that is released during the methane burning process also add to the global climate change. The current fracking process includes technologies that extract higher quantities of gas, which further adds more to climate change. John Rumpler is a senior attorney at Environment America, which is leading a national effort to restrict, regulate, and end the practice of fracking. Rumpler does not believe that the damage caused by fracking is worth the benefits, and some of his arguments that he used on environmental damage is that there are pollution problems and earthquakes from the deep well injections of the wastewater into the gas-producing shale, as well as significant warming emissions. Fluid and chemicals have leached into groundwater at 421 fracking waste pits in New Mexico, and he discussed a peer-reviewed study by Duke University that linked the methane in people's drinking water wells to the gas drilling in surrounding areas. He also stated that fracking involves consequences that we are unable to even evaluate yet. And he states that there is no definitive answer as to what happens to the integrity of the bedrock once all of the gas and liquid is withdrawn. In a U.S. Geological Survey that looked at earthquakes around Youngstown, Ohio, he talked about how there were the earthquakes that occurred near the deep well fracking locations. Within this survey, it was discovered that the seismic activity around this area was man-made, and there was no other man-made activity in any of the surrounding areas except for this fracking. He also went on to discuss a little bit of the economic damage that goes along with this process, and the costs of fracking report detailed all of the money that is drained in the drilling process between property damage, healthcare costs, roads ruined by machinery, and so much more. Pennsylvania even had a $5 billion bill following its last major extraction in order to clean up the pollution from the abandoned mines.
How's it affecting wildlife? It starts with the land cleared for the well pad, followed by draining large amounts of water, between 1.5 and 16 million gallons per well, out of rivers, streams, or groundwater. In places where hundreds or thousands of wells spring up across a landscape, it's easy to imagine the toll on wildlife, and even cases with ecosystem wide implications. Habitats for wildlife is often altered or destroyed. Without these wild animals doing ecosystem services for us, we cannot survive, says ecologist Sandra Steingraber. Large-scale developments such as miles-long pipelines can change the way species move and hunt, often resulting in an increase in predation. The oil and gas development in Canada, for example, created wolf highways that gave the predators easy access to an endangered herd of woodland caribou. As habitats are constantly altered, intentional dumping of wastewater or fracking fluid released 180 million gallons into the environment between 2009 and 2014, according to an investigation by the Associated Press. In one case, an accidental release of fracking fluids into a pasture adjacent to a drilling operation resulted in 17 cows dead within an hour. Exposure to fracking fluids running onto pastures or into streams or wells also reportedly led to pregnant cows producing stillborn calves, goats exhibiting reproductive problems, and other farm animals displaying similar problems. Farmers reported effects within 1 to 3 days of animals consuming errant fracking wastewater. How is it affecting human health? The mixture of chemicals used in fracking processes include acids, detergents, and toxins which have leaked into the drinking water of residential areas. These chemicals are leaked to preterm deaths, births, high-risk pregnancies, asthma, migraine headaches, fatigue, nasal and sinus symptoms, and skin disorders over the last 10 years, according to a new study. As studies are continued, it seems air pollution has been linked to many long term health complications. In Colorado, for example, an evaluation of birth defects in areas with high concentrations of oil and gas activity found that mothers who lived near many oil and gas wells were 30% more likely to have babies with heart defects. Many of these birth defects have not only been caused by air pollution, but also by contaminated drinking water. As many wonder how these companies can simply get away with these health violations, current state regulations exempt fracking from the Safe Drinking Water Act, the Clean Water Act, and the Resource Conservation Recovery Act. As companies continue to violate these environmental laws, landowners are currently facing insurance violations as gas companies do not reveal that oil and gas operations are violations of most standard mortgage agreements. Just recently, Nationwide Insurance revealed that their policy does not cover damage from fracking. After this shocking revelation, citizens tackled on the question whether fracking should continue or be stopped. What do you think?
And here is our Works Cited page. Thank you guys for watching.